Good morning, world. I am Judy, your web-based therapist, making therapy accessible and convenient for our clients in Florida and New York, and of course, sharing information worldwide. Today, I wanted to take a moment and talk about 5 ways that our society can be toxic to the mental health of Black women. It is, after all, Minority Mental Health Month, and there are so many things that happen in our society that are so intrusive and so offensive and so hurtful to the mental health of Black women. So, why not talk about them on Minority Mental Health Month? But before I get into that, I want to take a quick moment and say if you are subscribed, thank you so much for being a part of our awesome world. If you're not yet subscribed, please take a moment and click the subscribe button below so you can join all this awesomeness. And remember to tick the bell so you are notified when I post new videos so you don't miss anything. And of course, if you'd like to purchase 1 or 3 of my books, also a link below that will take you to a site that shows you all your different options of where you could get 1 or 3 of my books. All right, let me get back to it. First is that permissiveness, that freedom that society takes with Black women's bodies, with the sexualizations and the, hey, y'all all Sarah Bartman to us. Where I've already talked about my issues with people touching my hair. Don't touch my hair. Don't look at my hair. There's that. Or you'll be wearing a piece of jewelry and someone decides, oh, I want to see this. And before they finish the statement and they're already touching you. I don't see that happening with other people, not with white women and definitely not with white men. It's just that with the Black woman, there seems to be this freedom, this entitlement to our bodies, to our persons, where it's like we're not in charge of this. Everybody else has the right to touch and be. That just, I need a moment. There's that. And then there's also the sexualization of the bodies of Black women, where if you look on television, sometimes just they could be showing the same two women on the same show, and you can see that there's a difference in the angles that they shoot the Black woman. Where I saw on one show, I remember seeing that distinctly, where there was I think it was couples that were on vacation or something, and they really zoomed in on the Black woman's butt as they were showing them on the beach. But when they were showing the other couples on the beach, they didn't do that extra zooming in on any parts of the white women who were on that same trip. But it was like, hey, with her body, we can just go in. We could zoom in. We could show all of it. That's just toxic. That is wrong. That is infuriating. That, yes, there are some people who have accepted it, and there are some people who enjoy that attention. But there's a level of respect that you take from someone when you feel so entitled to just come in and grab and touch and, ooh, don't touch me, please don't touch me, because we will both have problems. We need to stop that. And it's important for us as Black women to realize that, no, they do not have that permission. And we have the right to say, get off me, move away from me. Whatever you need to do to get someone away from you, get that person away from you. 2, the moving, spinning goalpost. And I was sharing this with a friend and she said, this is not clear. And that's exactly what it is. It's not clear. The rules for us are different and always changing. It's almost like the moment we start getting close, it's like, hey, we're going to tilt it to this angle. We're going to move it. We always need to do more. We're always being asked to do more. We're always being asked to do things different. And the moment we start to reach the goal, the moment we start to arrive, there's always a new caveat of like, hey, there's one more requirement. Hey, there's one more thing you have to do. There's one more this, there's one more that. Well, that we changed the way this is done. It's like whatever we do is never going to be enough. That's what it feels like sometimes. Because even as far as we speak up, we're too aggressive. We don't speak up, we're too passive. It's just so hard to try to keep up with all the many different rules and the different requirements that are forever changing, and making it so hard on Black women to get to whatever that target is, because, that target just keeps moving, and that can be frustrating. That can be tiring. That can be discouraging. It's infuriating. When I think of this, I always remember in that Selena movie when the dad says, "It's exhausting." That's exactly how it feels. It's exhausting. And of course, we as Black women need to remember that even though sometimes it's about figuring out what our target is, figuring out what our goals are, and start working towards those, because when it comes to our society, especially a society that does not have our back, the goals, the rules, the target is always changing. So we have to be able to set our own and focus on reaching those. 3, that whole thing of convincing Black women that we are each other's competition. We're not. We're all in this together. We are in this together. And it's important for us to start realizing this, because every different group is looking to pit us against one another. It's not just that there's room for one of us. A lot of times it feels like people are making us feel that there's only room for one of us, so we need to take each other down in order for me to be the one who gets this room that there is for one of us. No, there is plenty, and if it's not at this table, we can make our own tables. We can build our own tables. We could build our own houses and put a table in there. We need to stop allowing society to pit us against one another, because a lot of the times you will find that sometimes Black women can be even harder on each other, because it's we're made to feel like we need to be that person. One of a short film that I watched a couple years ago, and I still talk about that, Delapo is Fine. And I always say how that woman, that mentor that Delapo was assigned, is what happened to a lot of Black women who met that person who told her, "Hey, you're not that, you're not good enough, you're not this, you're not that." So it's important that we're reminding ourselves that we're not in competition. We don't need to tear each other down in order for us to get up there. We can cooperatively, at this point, we need to cooperatively work together, and either we're getting to whatever the goal is that everyone else is chasing, or we're going to be making our own goals, setting our own tables and building our own whatever we need to build. But the idea that society is making us feel and think that we have to be competing against each other and knocking each other down, no, we need to stop that. 4, our society is very dismissive of the pain of Black women. A lot of times, and a lot of different people have the stories. Actually, one of the most famous ones I remember, Serena Williams, where she talked about where she had complications after the delivery, and they weren't taking her seriously. They were not taking her pain seriously. That's just one example. Black women have a much higher chance of dying postpartum than other women, because a lot of times when things are happening, there's a problem. I'm telling the doctor I'm in pain, and they're like, ah. And our emotional pains are dismissed just the same. Just the other day, I'm walking into a store, and the automatic button, the hand cap button, wasn't working, and I kept pressing it. It was not working. I have a giant box, and a Haitian man, yes, a Haitian man behind me. He runs up and says, "I got this. I got you." And he came in. He pulled the door open because the door was super heavy and the box was giant. And the guy coming up behind him says, "Oh, it's okay. Don't worry about her. She got this. She's stronger. She's stronger than you think." Like, what? I'm sitting here struggling, and you see someone helping me, and you're telling that person, "Nah, you don't need to help her. She's stronger than you think." That goes to my next one too. But our society is very dismissive when it comes to the pain of Black women. One, society needs to stop that. But we as Black women need to remember that, one, society is dismissive of us and our pain. So because of that, we need to be a lot more vocal. And we also need to be advocates for one another, because when you see that they're dismissing her, this means that it's up to you. It's your time. It's your turn to step up and help her advocate, because she needs someone to speak up for her when her pain is too great. Whether it's physical pain, emotional pain, whatever the situation, society is very quick to dismiss it when it's happening to a Black woman. So it's up to us to step up and make sure that we are taking care of each other. And yes, we definitely need our allies to step up and advocate in those situations as well. And finally, that one. The myth of the strong Black woman. That is the permission, the free pass that society gives itself to not have to be there for us. That's how they can say, when a child, like a 5-year-old comes and say, hey, come do this with me, and you don't feel like doing it, and you're like, you're such a big boy, you got this, look at you. That's what that is. Because we're asked to step up when it's women's issues. We're asked to step up when it's Black issues. We're asked to step up whenever, whatever the cause is. But when it's the situation, we all work together. We crack the door open, and things are starting to happen. And when we pull the door, Black men get to go in, white women get to go in, and we're standing out there, and they're like, "You're a strong Black woman. You got this." That's what it feels like. This myth that we are the strong Black woman. We have to do everything. We have to do the unexpected. We have to do the impossible. We have to do this. We have to do that. But society doesn't have to do anything. They don't have to help us because we're the strong Black women. No, we are women. We are people. We are human. And it's important that our society, the people that we're working with, the people that we're working on their behalf, the people who are supposedly in this with us, that they stay with us even after maybe their stuff gets taken care of. The idea, that myth of the strong Black woman, is just a free pass that society is giving itself so that it doesn't have to step up for us. And no, we're not buying it. We're human Black women, and society's going to have to accept that. Okay, so let me do this quick recap. 1, that permissiveness, that freedom that society takes with the Black woman and her body, that needs to stop. We're not taking that. And don't touch my hair. 2, that moving, spinning goalpost where every time we start to reach the target, it changes again. Where every time we reach the goal, it happens. That is tiring. It's infuriating. It's exhausting. 3, convincing Black women that we are each other's competition. We're not in competition. We're all in this together, and we need to work together. 3, that dismissiveness of the pain of the Black women, whether it is physical or emotional or whatever. We have to realize that society is not stepping up for us, so it's up to us to step up for each other, and hopefully some allies will join us in stepping up and voicing and speaking up for us too, or with us. And finally, that myth of the strong Black woman needs to go, because we are not giving you guys, society, we're not giving you this free pass. We are here, we're working as hard as everyone else, we're engaging, we're being active, and we're doing all sorts of stuff to get stuff going for the society, and we want a piece of this pie. When it's time for our issues to be addressed, we need all these people that we're stepping up for, that we're advocating for, that we're working for. We need y'all to come back and work with us to make sure that, hey, after we crack the door open and you get in, we get in. As always, if you or someone you know happens to be going through something that's more than you can handle, please remember that there are professionals like myself who are available, able, and willing to help, and are even providing remote services who can assist with whatever you may have going on. So please figure out who those people are in your community so that if you need them, you can reach out and get the help that you need. And that is all we have for today. Good morning, world. Have an awesome day.